Hello, and welcome to another thrilling episode of My Dog Will Eat My Face. First of all, a little housekeeping. I apologize that the last podcast apparently went out in two copies. That is, the podcast was out, and when it finished, it went straight into the same podcast again before it ended. So it was like the episode was back to back in itself, back to back. It was a screw up. So, yes, obviously, podcasting is not my forte, and my technicians didn't catch the error, which made me mad. But I calmed down once I realized that's because I don't have any technicians. But yeah, that's a bummer. Anyway, so I apologize for that. There might be errors in my recordings, but bear with me. And we'll get through it together, hand in hand. Anyway, yeah, so what has been going on lately? I actually had another nasty fall that was only 2 weeks after the last one. And this time it was in my bedroom to the floor. I tripped over some stairs that my dog uses. I know it sounds weird. The dog has stairs to the bed in my bedroom. And I was walking out and I tripped over the stairs, which I've gone by a million times without issue, and lost my balance and went flying into the floor again while I was still recovering from the first fall in the shower. So again, they had to send an emergency nurse out and all that. So I'm going to talk about that mainly today. That's the biggest event I think that has happened. Um, Beyond that, as I see it, we'll just catch up today with what's going on. But thanks for your patience. And like I said, we'll get through it together. So, as I said in the introduction, I was recovering still from my nasty fall in the bathtub. I mean, that first fall was so violent. I don't know why. It was loud and violent. I am shocked none of my neighbors like called someone or checked on me or something, because probably half the floor heard it. And yeah, it was a body falling to the ground. Thanks, guys, for no interest. Probably just complained about the noise. But yes, so still recovering from that. I took a vicious dive to my bedroom floor. Thank goodness that's one of two rooms in my place that are carpeted. The rest is all hardwood flooring. And at least I landed on the carpet. I hit my head on an open door, but luckily the door moved when I hit it, so it was rather mild. It didn't. The door moved when I hit it just a little bit with my head, so thankfully that spared me from a rather more severe head injury. But It's not been fun. I am in so much pain. It re-injured my right hand, which has been broken. My right thumb is definitely messed up. I can't use it like normally. If I try to, it's just sharp shooting pain. And the only good news is the bruising from both falls is now dissipating quite a bit. You can barely see it still in some places, a little yellow, but my body's doing it pretty quick to get rid of it. I am a little nervous about my left hip because I don't know if my listeners know this. My left hip is not real. I had a hip replacement surgery, an emergency hip replacement surgery, maybe 15 years ago. It was a long time ago. And it was from a fall. I gotta stop falling down. I am just a spaz. I mean, even when I'm healthy, I'm falling. Anyway, yeah, I fell down and bashed my hip on Italian marble flooring, and it snapped the ball of my femur off while it was still in the joint, and it was going to go necrotic. So they had to do an emergency replacement with titanium from the top of the femur, like half of the top part of the femur, and into a titanium uh, machine where it's just a titanium ball in a socket. It's all fake on my left side. So like it's weird if you see my hip X-ray or if you feel the hips. Like my right hip comes out like a normal hip. My left hip is like straight down. I mean, if you feel it, it feels it's kind of funny. It's like, oh my god. Um, yeah, because it's just titanium rods. It's not a real hip. I'm a little nervous because I bashed that in and it's been hurting lately, and that scares me to death because recovering from that hip surgery when I went through that was in- incredibly awful. Broken hips are one of the worst things in the world. I had to learn to walk all over again. I went from wheelchair to walker to cane to walking. Lots of physical therapy. It was terrible. Anyway, um, yeah, as I think about it, I'm prone to falling. What is up with that? Even when I was quote unquote healthy, I was dropping to the floor like an air raid was on. Oh my god. It's funny as I think about it. Yeah, I have a serious falling problem, which predates hospice by decades. Anyway, I don't know why that is. I'm just a total klutz and spaz. Now, being in hospice and being a klutz and spaz, that's a bad combo, though. Falling down and breaking things and taxing my body that can't write a check to pay for it. You know what I mean? My body just goes nuts with these falls. My heart does, which is interesting because of the injuries. So my heart rate went up to like 140, and it's been difficult to keep it out of the hundreds. We were pretty steady, but when I last checked it after just going to the kitchen and back, it was like 130. And I'm like, God, I can't even do anything around the house without my heart wanting to explode through my chest like I'm climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. and my oxygen is then depleted to sometimes I've seen it in as low as in the 60s. Just if I do something minor in the house, like get up and go to the kitchen and come back, that will wipe me out to where my heart rate is 140 and my oxygen level is in the 70s suddenly. And I have to stop, sit, lay down or something and let me recover from that. And it can sometimes take quite a while. So I guess I need a bubble to live in. Because I just have an issue with falling. I wonder if I can add that to my disability checks and get more money. Hmm. No. Anyway, moving on. Frankly, I don't have much of another update at this time. My life has been mostly dealing with a lot of pain um, from these injuries and my heart freaking out from all of them. It's stuff I don't need. You know, these injuries I don't need. I don't need to catch a bug. Because every time I injure myself now, my heart just spazzes out. And I'm scared that it will be cardiac arrest one day. And I've been told from past nurses and doctors that that will likely be how I'll die is through a cardiac event. So that's fun. But yeah, I haven't really done much of anything else except try to fix games on my computer and then it's just been laying down. But yeah, I couldn't really and have not been able to do anything hardly because every movement hurts. Some days it hurts so much I can't put socks or shoes on. Um, it hurts too much to do basic turns and things. It might take me 20 minutes just to get out of bed. And I've been reusing my cane again because I'm feeling wobbly when I walk. It's uh, it's been a pretty boring and very painful couple weeks. So I don't have that much to update other than that, so I apologize. But I am still alive. I know that with every episode now, they could be my last words on my last podcast. And when I disappear for a couple weeks, who knows? But nope, it's just because I was really in pain from yet another stupid fall to the floor. Yeah. Um, Not good, but I'll probably cut it short here because I don't have much else to report on other than kicking my own ass and falling down and being in pain and having muscle spasms. Like right now, my lower left back is spazzing out for whatever reason I turned it the wrong way, and my lower left back is just spazzing and screaming in pain, like 8 out of 10. So it's just been a lot of pain And with that, I can't really do that much of anything else other than endure. I think I've said it before, the secret to getting through this is to endure. As the poet Virgil wrote, all things may be mastered by endurance. And I firmly believe that's true. I think that's true. I don't like to believe anything because beliefs are based on no evidence and they're hard to change. I'm much rather think something is something because I have indicia that indicates it's true and I'm at liberty to change my mind when I get opposing evidence. So I think more than I believe. But anyway, now I'm going off on a philosophical tangent again. Yeah, I don't know what's up with me and philosophy lately. Maybe that's just something when you're dying, you just you think about it all the time, you explore it, and I'll tell you what, I will share this. I've been at peace with death itself for a long time now, years. I am completely at peace with dying. I've had a very, very active, good, and bad, mostly good life. I was here and I did a lot while I was here. So I'm comfortable with expiring. But I didn't think about the pain leading up to that. Because that is what's getting to me more and more now, is pain. So I might be fine with death, but I don't know if I can be fine with the trip to get there. So that part does scare me, and I have to think about how to handle that. Because obviously, I'm not at peace, so to speak, with pain and getting myself injured. I don't think anyone would be unless they're weird. Um, yeah, so I'm worried about the journey to get there, which I definitely feel is rolling forward full steam. In fact, one of the emergency nurses that came by after my falls was here. And we were talking just generally about what's going on with me, and she was there because I fell. So she was helping me, and we were sitting there, and suddenly she asked me, are you starting to feel it? And I knew exactly what she was asking. I knew what it was. I knew it meant dying. So I answered back, yes, I really am. And it seems to be expediting suddenly. And she nodded and put her hand on my shoulder gently. So I'm going to have to find a way to be okay with the pain, but I just have to endure it. It will pass. like all things do. It will pass. Well, with all of that said, folks, I think I'm going to close out this podcast. I'm sorry it's a little short, uh, and they've been short more and more lately, and more infrequent. It's just because I'm battling a lot of stuff, and it's difficult for me to physically do some of these things. Day to day things are becoming more and more difficult to do. And I'm in a ton of pain for various reasons all over my body. It's shooting terrible pain. I get painkillers, but they just might take the edge off. Anyway, so please forgive me for the infrequency and perhaps the shorter podcasts. But I do appreciate all of you for chiming in and listening and giving me a venue to express my thoughts and what I'm going through. One of the last things I did was I signed off on my own funeral and the cost and all that. So my family won't have to. I'll be picked up, or in my body will be picked up by people that are already under contract. I signed it in advance. So my family doesn't have to do pretty much of anything when I die. But I did that, and I also completed a list of people, the silos of my friends and family members, who should be called or texted, notifying them of my death. Because my friendships are so siloed. If I die, a lot of people will not even hear about it. If just my family hears about it. All my friends and former colleagues and all that won't hear anything about it. Even um, other family members, like my one of my aunts and cousins, they won't hear about it. But those were the last two things I completed was the planning and the agreement for my own funeral and making a list of people to contact to inform when I'm dead and giving that to both hospice and my family. That's pretty heavy, but I'll get through it. Anyway, I said I was quitting on this podcast. I gotta shut up. But again, just thank you very much for your time and listening. If you do want to support the podcast more, I appreciate it. I'm on a diminished income. I'm on a deficit every month. I have to use credit to get by, like a lot of Americans now. But if you get a tickle up your leg or something to support me, you can always go to Patreon.com/my dog will eat my face, and I will be forever appreciative. I will promise to haunt you in thanks. I jest. But with all that said, for now I have to only say, Dosh Vidanya.